Welcome back. Thank you very much for attending this event that your human being presence here on earth deserves. This is something that is trying to guide you through your human journey from the very physical aspect through the mental aspect to the spirituality, because the holistic human being is this merge of all those three. It's merge of the physical, mental and spiritual aspect. It's the synergy of all those that makes us who we really are and where we are going. Finding where you are right now is so critical for your further development, for knowing what right now you have to do to develop yourself as human being and how to see what is coming for you is this background that we have today. So for today we are moving to this third chakra in this 7 chakras system, and this is the solar plexus chakra, which some of you might know. This is the 5th week already of this guidance about chakras, and this is so critical on this roadmap that we have in here to see where the solar plexus chakra is really fitting. So it's like a step-by-step process of really developing yourself as human being, from root chakra through sacral chakra to solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and this crown chakra that is this final destination here on the physical aspect of us as human beings. This solar plexus chakra, as already mentioned, is located near solar plexus or around navel. Those two are quite interchangeable in the literature, interchangeable in guidance, but this is the core of really who you are in this will, personal power aspect, the ego as well, this placement of this ego, that the lower part of the ego is as well part of this as well. In here you see this summary that we did on the introduction. So this will, personal power, taking responsibility for one's life, mental abilities, forming personal opinions and beliefs, personal identity, personality, so ego, self-assurance, self-confidence, making decisions, setting the direction, self-discipline, independence, ego, anger, aggression, and clarity of judgment. In here they are all located to some degree when the chakra is functioning it's functioning good, it's functioning properly, or is in imbalance. As you see, the balance, it's the more energetic person, confident, productive and focused. And for the imbalance, for the physical aspect, the digestive problems, the liver problems, the diabetes, for imbalance on emotional level, it's depression, lack of self-esteem, anger and perfectionism. So for those questions in this episode that you might ask while not really knowing yet what is this chakra about, those are the initial ones, quite in line with what we were asking previously, because you will have good reference point to see how those elements change. So why is it called this way? Around the spine, where it is located, how it is interconnected with other chakra, with other aspects. What is so special about this chakra? How many functions it has? Is there anything specific about that chakra in terms of characteristics? How is it important for my well-being on physical, mental and spiritual levels? And in this episode, because it resonates with this chakra even more, I will give you a hint of really what is this Kundalini energy thing, what is it about, what are those specifics of Kundalini energy, and I will mention about the grantees, so knots, and I will show you later on what I mean by those knots, because they are quite interesting and very important in terms of this Kundalini energy flow. So why is it called solar plexus chakra? Someone can say, okay, it's obvious, it's a solar plexus, but as well it has some other perspectives. In Indian tradition, it's called Manipura, Manipurak, Nabi, depends on the region, and a direct translation is city of jewels or gems. So this Mani part is the jewel or gem, and Pura, it's the dwelling place. So navel as well, Nabi, navel. So this is where this chakra is located and how it is called. And as you see, it's located navel region, solar plexus region, in between. This is the location, anatomically related to solar plexus, so the digestive fire and heat regulation in the body, and it's called the brain of the body, because as well from energetical perspective, as you see in here, it's center of dynamism, of energy, of willpower, lower willpower and achievement. As well, later on we will explain it, but it's very important center for Kundalini awakening. As well, it's considered the assertiveness and the I center. It's as well considered the center of wisdom and this gut feeling that quite often happens. In terms of the levels, you already saw it in the introductory slide. Solar plexus chakra is considered the third chakra from the bottom. So it's this hollow area between the ribs. It's for the solar plexus, sometimes near the it's like considered between the solar plexus, the top and the navel. So it's this area. The other ones, as you see, are above it, and how it is interconnected, because as well it's quite interesting how it is interconnected, maybe not only externally. What we can add in here is that usually those chakras above the basic chakra, they have the front and the back. In here as well, this chakra is in front and the back, and it forms this nice, like it's considered a lotus flower, but it's like a whirlpool, and it's always rotating. So this is how it consumes this energy. This as well is the seat, so solar plexus chakra, of the first of the three major nodes, so this grantees of human journey. So this Brahma grantee, we will talk about that one later on. Some might say or find in literature that this grantee is usually meant to be located somewhere between root chakra and sacral chakra, but in most of the scriptures it's located in the solar plexus chakra, because it's considered the first one for human beingness. The lower chakras are considered more the chakras of our animal aspect than the solar plexus chakra. So what is so special about this chakra? So this chakra radiates and distributes pranic energy through the human network. It's considered like a really big interconnection of elements, like central hub of all the interconnectivity in terms of the body energy, and it gathers the nadis, so energetic channels that control the body functions and digestive process. This as well incorporates the wisdom and intuitive knowledge. So this is the place where the intuitive knowledge is located. So this gut feeling, it's as well shaping the thoughts according to our will. So it's this will center. And in Buddhist tradition and tantric texts, awakening is from solar plexus chakra, awakening of the kundalini energy. So lower chakras are considered to belong to higher realms of animal life, as I mentioned, and higher man predominates from Manipura, so from the solar plexus chakra. This is this name that it has, and awakening of kundalini becomes ongoing from this chakra. It means that it will not rise and fall as in lower chakras, because in lower chakras it might go up, as we were discussing previously, and it can drop basically to the root chakra. What is further so special and interesting about this chakra is that it's considered the gravitational center of the body. So really your center of you as human beings, center of really balancing your human body. It's often considered as the source of sounds. So if you start to talk about something and you put your hand really in the area of solar plexus chakra, you will hear the sound before it goes out of the mouth, and you will hear it in solar plexus chakra. It's as well particularly responsive to sounds, and the production of sounds starts in navel. That's why it's connected in here. It's connected as well to vision, form, and color. And as mentioned initially already, it's considered the main seat of ego. In here as well, it's worth mentioning those aspects like being self-centered, striving for personal power, for identification and recognition. How many functions solar plexus chakra has? It basically encompasses planes of karma, charity, atonement for one's errors, good company, bad company, selfless service, sorrow, and dharma. So those are the perspectives, and those are the specific functions that we already categorized for physiological, psychological, and spiritual functions. So for the physiological functions, it controls and energizes intestines and appendix. It affects speed of giving birth. It influences general vitality. It controls and energizes the diaphragm, pancreas, liver, and stomach. It energizes gastric and intestinal systems, or gastrointestinal systems as well. It affects the quality of blood because it influences the liver for detoxification. It controls the cholesterol level of the body, so as well it affects the heart condition. It controls heating and cooling system of the body. So if you have problems with really the temperature control in the body, so you are permanently too hot or you are cold all the time, it probably is in this chakra. The exhausted person can revitalize rapidly by energizing this chakra, and energizing by different means. This chakra can be energized, can be balanced as well. So for the psychological functions, so moving on to next element, this is the center of the bliss, so think blissful, for noble views, for perfect ideas, for compassion, for instinct of knowing really the next move when confronted, really this gut feeling that we mentioned already. This is the center of positive and negative lower emotions. As you see in here, the positives are like ambition, courage, perseverance, strength, rictus, indignation, justice, fairness. For negative, the anger, the irritation, the hate, the envy, the greed, the destructiveness, the violence, the cruelty, the anxiety, and so on. So usually it's treated when healing psychological ailments, when the pranic healing is considered, or any other forms of healing. Additional aspect is the spiritual aspect, and for the spiritual aspect is this aspect where everything is influenced by the higher vision. So if this lower will considers the higher will, this is when this chakra performs its function the best. So it's considered as well what we mentioned, this lower will center, and in Kabbalah it's this strength center, to follow will of higher soul and align lower with higher will. So it is what we mentioned. And for emotional driven so-called masses, so really on average it's considered the primary will center. Is there anything specific about its characteristics? So usually it's colored as yellow, and it's this to symbolize this wisdom and intellect. In this tradition of really showing it as a lotus flower, it has 10 petals. It's usually in terms of prana, red, yellow, green, blue pranas, plus sometimes or tiny bit of orange and violet prana. The main sense organ that is linked in here, its eyes and work organ, is tied to feet and legs, and internal organs is connected to pancreas usually. This is the solar plexus chakra, as it has been depicted in Charles Ledbetter's book. The spleen is of course not in here, it's a bit lower, but this is for this solar plexus chakra like an outlook. As you can see in here, it's like those 10 elements, 10 petals, but it's not really petals, it's like always whirling elements, rotating elements that are in here that look like kind of the petals. And what is important for your well-being on physical, mental and spiritual levels, if you consider this chakra, this chakra enables the acquisition of spiritual perspective, so higher planes of existence, the more like this third person observer view on what is happening, more calm perspective. Additionally, it's a visualization of infinite state of consciousness, so endless beauty and perfection of higher worlds. it can be imbalanced by negative emotions, as other chakras can be imbalanced by the influence of negative energy. This might cause the severe ailments that might influence as well nearby organs, because it's very near to the critical organs of our body. Additionally, anger and intense worry, it devitalizes the whole energy body. So it's not only working on the physical aspect, but as well on energetical aspect. When we become susceptible to diseases, we have physical body sickness. But this is worth highlighting, that intense worry, some anger, it devitalizes you on energetical aspect. So you have much lower amounts of energy to protect yourself, to really function properly as human being. So really this psychological aspect of having no fears besides the ones that are critical is in here worth highlighting. Additionally, what is meant about the person that is this profile for solar plexus chakra, it's usually it will be the desire for identification. It's connected to ego, for recognition, for power, for better living conditions, and as well intellectual power plays important role in behavior. To continue the journey and show you this aspect that is very important in here, this Kundalini energy. As you see in here, this source of Kundalini, it comes from Sanskrit word kundal, which means the spiral or coil. It's as well formed like in yoga. Kundalini Shakti means the coiled power. It's depicted as serpent that lies coiled while resting or sleeping. Additionally, in Shankaracharya, in his final treatise, Saundarya Lahari, says the invisible Kundalini Shakti, so this coiled power, pierces the 6 chakras and enters its abode slowly, step by step, which means it moves through chakras step by step, called the basic force of the body, the Kundalini energy, the supreme power, the virgin energy. It's dormant potential force in the human organism, and it is situated at the root of spinal column, so the root chakra. Usually it's meant to be located in there. To awaken Kundalini, you must prepare yourself through yogic techniques. The best ones to get prepared is you must practice asanas, so from Hatha Yoga, pranayama, Kriya Yoga as well, and meditation. Because Kundalini energy, if tried to be awakened instantly without preparation, might be dangerous. We might say dangerous, we might say very unpleasant experience if you do it really without any control, like Kriya Yoga's perspective that really enables you to have control over the process. So it's as well the process that you should be prepared for, and you should as well be responsible to see it, to feel it, and to understand what are the side effects, the consequences. Following further, it usually is in 3 states. So this virgin state, it stays youthful in the resting place, so in root chakra, dormant sleeping form. Then it goes into slow movement and mild sound starts. Then it becomes fully illuminated and enters the cave of Brahma, where she unites and loses herself. So when you are able to direct your prana into the seat of Kundalini, energy wakes up and makes its way through Sushumna Nadi, so the central energy channel in the central nervous canal, to the brain. It ascends, passing each chakra, interconnected with different silent areas of the brain. So in here it's worth mentioning that our brain, as you hear that we usually use quite low capacity of the brain, 10% or something around this, we have some dormant areas of the brain, and awakening of Kundalini starts really to open those up. Those explosions in the brain, it's not physical explosions. The brain starts to really ignite, maybe just turn on those new areas and starts to work on totally different set of processing power, of knowing, of really this perspective that it has in this way. And dormant or sleeping areas start blossoming like flowers, and this awakening of Kundalini might be as well equated to awakening of silent areas of the brain. We mentioned that on the road of Kundalini there are some challenges, there are some blockages, that solar plexus is like a first point where there is a knot to be solved. So they are called grantees, and literally it's knots. So there are three main grantees, so knots. They show the three aspects of consciousness, and they are those three main obstacles. So those aspects are knowing, feeling, and doing. And in here, as you see, the first one is this Brahma Granti, which is for feeling and the mind. And in here, what traps the energy is desires and ambition. They trap the mental energy. Another one, so the Brahma Granti is in solar plexus. The Vishnu Granti is a bit higher. I will show it on the very end, but usually they form these blockages for your flow. So Vishnu Granti is doing and prana, compassion presents attachment. So in here it's more of a work of when it enters heart, it's more of a work of really not being compassionate without this special attachment, having pure feelings, not attachment feelings. This is why it might get stuck in there. It's this dreamer, reformer, savior, this spiritual qualities, but really to move the Kundalini farther up, we have to as well disconnect from this element and let it flow to be the yogi. So the last one is this Rudra Grantis, destroyer and true knowledge. So this location where those illusion created by ego or I consciousness, this illusory world, they get destroyed, removed, and you have full access to the true wisdom. And this is as well this location where knowing, this true knowing and this jnana, so true knowledge, appears. Those three knots, to be fully functioning, they need to be united and untied. So then you go into phenomenal reality. You reach this divine energy, that is this pure energy that is flowing on us, this bliss, the ultimate destination. Additionally, for just showing you what are those interconnectivities, for Brahma, it's in tantric scriptures, the places really in the Manipura chakra, it's related to physical body and to world of names and forms. So Vishnu, another one, it's related to astral body and world of emotions. This Rudra, so the last one, is related to this causal body and world of thought, ideas, visions, and intuitions. So you those questions were what you might ask in here, what you could ask when you already see how it is located, where it is, what it is. So solar plexus chakra, how it connects to me as human being. I mentioned the hero's journey, where it connects. Is the solar plexus chakra only present in yogi culture, or there is resemblance in other cultures? Are there any chakras dependent on this solar plexus chakra? Does this chakra connect us to any energy sources? Is this chakra important for overall energy perspective? And what is so important about it? How imbalance or lower development of this chakra can manifest, and how to balance it? What external circumstances can highlight myself the potential imbalance, and how would I respond in certain scenarios? And are there any good sources of knowledge about this chakra? So, how it connects to me as human being, and on what levels primarily? So it's considered the main center for lower will, main center of lower emotions. It controls and energizes the gastrointestinal system, the diagram, the pancreas, the liver, the stomach. It energizes the intestines, appendix, lungs, and heart. It affects quality of the blood. It controls and energizes the liver. It energizes the whole body, so it's quite important in terms of those points of connection. In terms of how it connects back to the hero's journey, it connects on those two major elements, on the road, on the age, the connectivity to this normal person between 14 and 21 acts from third chakra. It's in Hindu tradition. It's meant that this period is really purely from the solar plexus chakra. Is concerned. They are concerned about being fashionable. They demand respect from others. They are arrogant inside and humble outside. And as well, what we mentioned, this hero's journey, those aspects of struggle, those aspects of challenges, those aspects of trials, it's in here, this first of those three notes, first obstacle, this Granti, this Brahma Granti, that needs to be untied to move forward. Is it only present in yogi culture, or are there any other cultures that are meant in here? So as you see in here, at least in 4 of those, in Jewish Kabbalah, in Japanese it's called energy center, and it's Hara. In Taoism is door of life. In Chinese medicine, it's divided into front solar plexus and back solar plexus, and it corresponds to those respective acupuncture points. And in Tree of Life, this location is this Gebura. It's responsible for strength, so it's for the solar plexus chakra. In Japanese, Hara, it's worth maybe just having a bit more information about it. It's Japanese medical tradition and Japanese martial arts tradition. Hara is used as technical term for specific area, so this solar plexus area or energy field of the body. Japanese physicians and medical therapists use the Hara in diagnosis to determine the health of otherwise of the patient, and particularly but not exclusively the state of the abdominal organs or tissues and related energy fields. Hara is partitioned into areas of which is considered on the basis of empirical evidence to represent one of the, in here 10, 11 or 12 from the different perspectives, vital organs and their functional energy field. Hara diagnosis in Japanese tradition may differ from school to school. Models of Japanese or Chinese medicine that are actually used are 5 elements, 5 phases, yin, yang, zhang fu, or meridian theory. They are, as well, they have underlying principles that are the same. This is as well in Japanese tradition considered the physical and energetic core, sometimes linked to all 3 lower chakras, not only the solar plexus chakra. In Taoism yoga, the front solar plexus chakra corresponds to Zong 1, which means center of stomach, and the back one is center of body. It will or the center of spine. It's the fire center, and it's connected in Taoism with kidneys. Are there any chakras dependent on this solar plexus chakra? As you saw already, it controls and regulates the basic chakra, so center of actions. When stabilized, or when this chakra is stabilized, it's good thoughts, words, feelings, and will. If it is overactivated, it might give the physical violence. Does this chakra connect us to energy sources? In here, it's quite interesting as well how this prana energy works around this chakra, because this chakra is like an interconnectivity point of prana and apana, so the life force that is going from the top and energizes, and apana, the cleanser of the system that is really giving this energy, this like wasted energy, or energy that is unneeded, the energy that has been congressed in any way, it goes it out, it takes it out. So pranas in body are classified into 5 dimensions: prana, apana, vyana, udana, and samana. And in here what's so interesting is that usually when you inhale, prana goes up to throat from the navel, from the solar plexus, and apana goes up to navel from the root chakra, and upon exhalation, prana goes down to navel while apana goes down to root chakra. And in here, to energize the manipura solar plexus, there are particular kriya techniques to do it, where during exhalation this apana is reversed to navel, so both forces are really energizing the navel. It enables the flow and establishing of the new base of Kundalini in solar plexus. That is this purpose. Is this chakra important from overall energy perspective, and what is important about it? It controls and energizes this gastrointestinal system that we mentioned, and all those other elements like diaphragm, the pancreas, the liver, the stomach. It energizes intestines, appendix, lungs, and heart. Affects the quality of blood by energizing the liver and energizing the whole body, so it's quite important from this aspect. How imbalance or low development of this chakra can manifest, and how to balance it. To balance the balance type, in here this archetype is the warrior, so really you have the proper willpower, you know where you go, you just plan and go. The imbalance in here is this negative archetype of servant who helps others with exclusion of self, and that as well can be converted into higher service, which is then becomes positive. As well, on this level of imbalance, ego feels proud of the ability to control. So this is this highlight of how this low development or imbalance can look like from high perspective. And in here, some elements that might be specific for imbalance. So negative emotions, especially prolonged ones, they can manifest as different type of diseases. So really having negative emotions, as probably lots of you know already, that they influence how your body works, how you get all those diseases in different regions, the weak ones usually. And in here it can manifest as well in terms of headaches, heart ailments, liver problems, kidney problems. Additionally, anger and intense worry, it devitalizes energy body. So every time you become angry or you are so worried about something that you really shake from being worried, this energy body gets hugely devitalized. Additionally, you get the shallow breath, so you don't have enough oxygen in the body, enough pranic energy in the body really to consume this energy and revitalize the body. And additionally, what you see in here, the imbalance might have side effects like habitual criticizing and habitual irritation. As we mentioned, the imbalance is not necessarily the deficiency. It might be as well the excess. So an excess in here connected to a root chakra, it might have this physical violence element. Person as well acts only for himself or herself. Energy is consumed by egoistic pursuits of name and fame. This well-balanced chakra, what happens when it's well-balanced? You have the ability to create and destroy, the pure ability to create, destroy, having something and then disconnecting from something. This is probably even better perspective. The self-defense, instant self-defense, you know exactly what to do. Acquisition of hidden treasures, as well as you know, when having this chakra balance, you are opening up to higher experiences, and higher experiences have lots of treasures. No fear of fire as well. This is this side effect of opening up to this chakra. Knowledge of one's own body. Freedom from disease. Ability to withdraw the energy to Hasrara, so this higher aspect of ourselves. The forgiveness for those that actually or imaginarily hurt him or her. So as well, when your ego just shows you the perspective that is not really what happened, this is where this forgiveness is working. So this recall of hurtful event congests this chakra and other chakras and organs. So really recalling any negative events is as well again creating those same emotions in your body, and this forgiveness is the key in here. So in here, as highlighted, act of forgiveness is therapeutic. So how we can bring the balance back? It's by having this emotional and mental hygiene. For the internal one, the proper emotions and thoughts, the positive emotions, the happiness, joy and enthusiasm. For external, proper company. So those that you surround yourself with. Emotions and thoughts are transmittable. The negative emotions are infectious, as we hear quite often recently. Talking with person with psychological problems can cause depression and physical exhaustion. Prolonged interaction can cause physical ailments. Food, as advised, should be prepared by people in good health and happy disposition. Why? Energy. Good and bad energy can easily be transmitted to food and objects. Additionally, interactive with optimistic, enthusiastic, radiant and very healthy people, it's psychologically and ethically beneficial. Additionally, for the spiritual teachers, students, they are almost bathing in powerful aura of the teacher. Additionally, for bringing the balance back, the selfless service, serving without desire for reward. Chanting mantras, as well as you heard already, this is the center where the sound originates, and really it resonates with sounds. So chanting mantras is quite important in here. Breathing through the right nostril as well is used to energize. This chakra. This split into those strengths and weaknesses, and then opportunities and threats, is as well quite maybe interesting and quite reminding of how it works. So for those weaknesses, the strong ego attachment, negative emotions, low whole body energy, physical violence, exclusion of self, and intense worry might be considered the weaknesses. The strengths, the acquisition of hidden treasures, the joy, enthusiasm, happiness, high energy, adaptive warriors, so really not being cornered, but all the time knowing that you can adapt, that you can pivot and go ahead. So selfless higher service, and in here in turns in exchange or in contrast to intense worry, the massive action. For these external threats and opportunities, those external ones might be low energy company, the stressful situation, directed anger. For the opportunities, on the other hand, the company of enlightened guru, meditation, chanting mantras. And those contexts that might be interesting for you, and those contexts that are worth highlighting in here, what can show you the potential imbalance in terms of circumstance. The next one is in terms of the scenarios. So sharing resources with others. Are you focusing on gaining the maximum own resources with lots of justifications for not giving anything away or not sharing it at all? For unknown stressful situations, do you respond with negative judgment, instantly, frustration, anger, or even physical violence? For achievements, do you focus on being better than others, on being superior, on having power over others? If someone questions your reasoning, this irritation and criticizing to show who is the authority just ignites instantly. So how would you respond in those scenarios as well? So let's say that you trade on the stock exchange and again your transaction brought losses. Do you have a fear of missing out? And you transact again and again sometimes and again, as it will be again this time for sure. Or you set the conscious boundary on the number of trials until stop, for instance 3, and you always keep it. You give part of your income to charity, and this month you have very tight budget. Do you drop the payments to charity and move them to your account? Or you figure out what you can do to grow your budget more without dropping the charity payments? You've been planning some event for long time and main guests didn't come. Do you instantly judge their behavior as insulting you without hearing out the story behind, or you let the circumstances to establish themselves next time to mutual benefit? And those good sources again of knowledge about this chakra and other chakras, as in here, they are quite critical or quite key books to just consume, to just see what's farther in those about those chakras. So Master Choa Kok Sui, the chakras and their functions, Swami Satyananda Saraswati, it's Kundalini Tantra, C.W. Leadbeater, so this 1927, the chakras, again Master Choa Kok Sui, the spiritual essence of man, where the focus is mainly on Kabbalah Tree of Life. Harish Yohari, considered as one of the key experts about chakras. It's chakras, energy centers of transformation. Cindy Dale, with her beautiful knowledge, the Lewin's complete book of chakras is really quite exhaustive resource about chakras. Your definite source of energy center knowledge for health, happiness and spiritual evolution. And when we move again back to the hero's journey and connectivity in here, again it's worth reminding, this hero journey is canvas for self-improvement. Hero's journey forces the character to disconnect from the physical aspects, as you see in here, to pursue the unknown. Hero's journey forms a cycle of growth and highlights courage as the starting point. Chakras, to function properly, need to be in alignment. Out of balance chakras need to be worked on to get back into balance. Lower, this physical dimension related chakras are keeping individual story in physical body and mind aspects. Heart chakra is the source of transformation, and when working properly enables to move out of physical only needs. As well, the solar plexus chakra in here is key to untie this knot that is blocking the Kundalini energy. Proper alignment of lower chakras enables journey to expand on higher level. Reaching out higher spiritual aspects lets speed up the growth of lower ones as well. And it's what I mentioned, those initial connectivity points and this journey, so this knots, so Brahma knot on the solar plexus, the Vishnu knot just between heart chakra and throat chakra, and Rudra knot is between the throat chakra and the third eye. And those are all those aspects as a summary. So physical aspect until the solar plexus already on this mental aspect on this aspect of above this animal aspect, and the threshold in terms of heart chakra and those spiritual aspects. So thank you very much for viewing this transmission today, and just tune in, just review this material, just check how those elements resonate with you. Because this journey through chakras is your journey. You can make it conscious journey where you as well see the explanations that you usually look for when you do this journey on the unconscious level. So discover yourself on this path and discover where you are, what elements are really in your core, how this energy sits in you, what you need, what are those parts that need energizing, what can you take out of this lesson about the solar plexus chakra, as it is critical for human beingness. It is critical starting not to be untied. It sits in here. So if you are ready to open up to the spiritual aspect, this is where it needs to be untied first. With that, thank you very much for watching live or the replay, and see you next time. As you see, next time we will talk about the heart chakra.